So let's say we have 500 people out there. I mean, does that send any new messages about, how people in the area are, what they're willing to stand for with this?
Well, I think any way that a citizen lets their views be known is important. That can be an email, it can be a phone call, it can be a letter, it can be somebody going out and holding a sign, at a group get-together. All of those are important, and all of those are worthy of consideration. Look, when I think people go out in the streets and are willing to hold a sign expressing themselves, that is noteworthy to public officials. It's appropriate that we realize that takes some added interest, some added gumption. But there's a lot of people who have interests that are also worthy of views that may not be there that day. So all of these things are important.
What do you take away from this morning's meeting about the CRC? Do you have any renewed hope, or just kind of feel the same issues?
Well, I feel vindicated in a renewed spirit that the leaders of economic development in this community understand that this is critically important to jobs in Clark County. And I met with numerous business leaders today, from manufacturing to high tech to healthcare, that unanimously told me that they thought moving forward with this crossing was fundamentally important to job creation and economic development in Clark County, and they still believe that. I still believe that. If there was any way to move forward, it'd be appropriate to consider it. We don't really have one right now because essentially the majority coalition in our state Senate blocked any vote, not just on this CRC project, but any vote on any transportation project. So the fact of the matter is, under the current condition, with the current leadership and majority in the state Senate, they refuse to do any transportation advances in the state anywhere, not just CRC. So the discussions about the configuration of the bridge are almost moot because this group, and we have two senators from this area who essentially said, we're not going to vote on any transportation project, CRC or not CRC. So that's most frustrating, and I'm going to continue to engage our whole state in a conversation to try to move forward with a transportation package to sign a solution. Now, I've done everything possible to get Clark County's two senators to rethink their position. I've met with them both. I've talked to them both. I've had them talk to the Secretary of Transportation. I've been here multiple times. I've done everything humanly possible. I'll continue to do that. But we need people to exercise leadership rather than just sitting in the sand and saying no. And that's the situation we've had so far.
What are the chances of peeling off one or two of those Senate votes before September 30th?
Well, I don't know. I always remain hopeful by nature. I noticed that the majority leader said that he wanted the majority caucus led by the Republicans to now, quote, lead, close quote, on transportation. Well, they spent 6 months, and I want to ask, where were they for 6 months? It'd be nice if they decide to come to the game and engage and propose some transportation plan. So far they have proposed zero, nada, zilch, bubkus. And it would be great if they got off the dime and helped us design a transportation package which helps solve our multiple transportation problems. They've done nothing so far. So we hope that they'll rethink this when they've returned home and listened to their constituents who are losing bus service. King County is losing 17% of their bus service because of the state Senate's failure to act. We have bridges that are in dangerous conditions over time. We're going to have to start shutting down some of the bridges in the state of Washington. It's already happening in some counties. So we're going to continue to urge them to show leadership rather than just say no, and that's what we've had so far.
If they continue to say no, is there any part of the CRC project that you think can be tweaked or redesigned to reach a different agreement?
Well, unfortunately, and this is what I've told people, and apparently we've had two senators who haven't listened, if we did not move this year, we have $850 million of federal funding that will no longer be available. We will not be able to use the $150 million plus that we used in the design of this bridge. The EIS is specific, the environmental impact statement is specific to this configuration of this bridge. The answer is no. Because of the intransigence of the total just say no approach of these two senators and the majority coalition, we've lost $850 million of federal funding that will eventually have to be paid by some Washingtonians. We've lost $150 million of public money that has gone into this design, and we'll probably lose 10 years of being able to get a bridge built. Now, that is a most disappointing position. I'm going to continue to try to lead a bipartisan effort to get this job done, and I hope it works.
Okay. But it sounds dead at this point.
It sounds like you have two senators who won't help us design a bridge that we can afford and get built in the next 10 years, and that's frustrating.
The last time you were in town, you were encouraging business leaders to, go and, knock on the senators' doors and whoever else was in a decision-making position. When you talked to them today, what strategies were you discussing with them? Were you talking about November 2014?
Well, what we were talking to them today was to try to regroup and have a discussion. It's our first chance to do that since the session. I wanted to make sure that they understood certain facts of how we got there. Number one, the CRC was not the reason a transportation package did not pass the state. At no time did the state Republicans offer a transportation package of any nature, of any sort, with any revenues. So the fact of the matter is that we need to get leadership in the state Senate that will help us have some transportation plan. We don't have that today. We have a Just Say No caucus in charge of the state Senate. That's number one. Number two, we needed to understand that all of us have it's been like talking to a rock to try to get people to understand, and they express great frustration that they have not been able to get these two senators to understand the economic ramifications of not moving forward with this bridge, and they were very, very frustrated by that. They were searching for some magic solution. None of us have it, but we hope that people in Washington will be able to prevail in the state Senate to help our state move forward on transportation. This just say no attitude, this do nothing attitude, this ostrich stick your head in the sand is not a way for our state to move forward, and that's what we've had so far. The House, the Democratic Party, passed a transportation bill. It included the CRC. The Senate, under control of the Republicans, passed zero for transportation. They didn't fund one bridge, one intersection, one lane, one bus, one bike, nothing. That's important to realize. They didn't say no just to the CRC. They said no to anything in the state of Washington. And it is that total failure, abject leadership failure, that is an impediment to our economic growth. So we've got to get our state to do what we've always done, which is get this state moving again. I'm going to be working on that the next several months.
At the same time, the CRC offices are shutting down. So how do you kind of reconcile that people are leaving the CRC, but at the same time you're trying to keep it moving forward?
We're doing everything we can do. The state legislature, because of the state Senate's abject failure to do anything on transportation, there were no funds to continue that office. So we weren't going to continue an office with no job to do or money to do it with. The state Senate did not appropriate the funds to continue this bridge project.
Didn't you veto the funds, though?
That was not to build this bridge. That was to do something else that was unnamed, ill-defined, and would not have been effective because we had no EIS, we had no plan, we had no federal money for the project. So that was simply a poison pill. It was a fig leaf to try to excuse the lack of leadership from some senators who failed to lead on this issue. Now, I want to reiterate, there's been some miscommunication for reasons I don't understand. I met with these senators personally on several occasions and talked to them about this. I urged them to reconsider their position. The failure to fund this bridge is very clear. It's on the senators who refused to bring a transportation package to the floor of the Senate. Two of them are here from this county. It's unfortunate. This is a progressive state. This is a state that wants to move forward. They set this state back 10 years on this project.
Do you want to say real quickly why you're here at the Boys and Girls Club today?
I love Boys and Girls Clubs to start with. I grew up in one at the White Center Red Shield White Center Boys and Girls Club. I'm going to talk to some of the great kids who are getting a great chance to both to learn and recreate and have a relationship with great adults. There's super things helping for kids in this community. I was just at the Henrietta Lacks STEM schools. It's a science, technology, engineering, math. It is an incredible facility that's going to give our students access to nursing careers, pharmaceutical careers, mechanical engineering careers. it's a model for the whole country. It was built with federal stimulus money, and it's the first place named after Henrietta Lacks in the United States. So this is it should be a nationally famous school.